What's some juicy gossip you just found out in your personal lives? My young, hippie chick, sweet, neighbor has an alcoholic BF. Middle of the night I heard her screaming for help and I immediately knocked on their door. Young dude wasn't happy to see me. Silly words exchanged and I managed to get her into my home. Sometimes we need a timeout, regardless of age, to take a breath or two. A few hours later she went home. Turns out the BF's mum is M-head and broke into a neighbor's home. Madness ensued, and before her arrest she convinced her son to share her meds. They don't know what he took but it didn't react well with him. What kind of mother does that to her son? Now she is awaiting him to bail her out. I was blunt with him and said he needed to focus on himself and his life. Bro, good for you for actually responding to a call for help. The world needs more people that care enough about others' safety to overcome the awkwardness of intervening. Friend, who I'll call Joe, is 12 years older than his girlfriend, who I'll call Jessica. They met when she was 18 and he was dating someone else. We'll call her Mary. He cheated on Mary with Jessica. Mary went psycho. They broke up and he and the Jessica got into a relationship. The next few years, she'd sneak out of college to meet him. Her family didn't like him because he was so much older and thought he was only in it for her money. Somehow they made it for 9 years. A year ago, he said in some social media post that he was single. 2 months later, he announced his engagement with a young woman. Talking to friends with more familiarity of the situation, it turned out Jessica had to put up with a lot. Mary continued to be psycho and harassed her lot. This was because she was 34 and was planning on having kids with Joe before he cheated on her. And so she considers Jessica her life ruiner. And Joe apparently cheated on Jessica as well, triggering mental health issues in her. After a psychotic episode, they broke up. But then he wanted to settle down and have kids, so he proposed to Jessica, and she accepted. Now they are planning a big butt wedding. I can't wait for the shit show it's going to be. This crap happens so often and it's depressing. The whole I have no options because I'm, insert balls equivocation here, so who cares if they're a little abusive is a mentality that needs to stop. Apparently for years my parents have told my teachers I have a learning disability. I didn't know I had learning disability. I don't think I have a learning disability. I asked them why and they said it takes about $1,500 off the cost of my university tuition from some government grant, so I guess I have a learning disability. Update. I asked my parents more questions about this and I apparently got tested when I was young and have a legitimate learning disability diagnosis. My parents aren't committing fraud, they knew all along that I was diagnosed and I just recently found out about it. This woman I know is dating a very shady guy. She's nearly 40 and desperate, so she overlooks a lot of the red flags. All her friends think he's in butthole. He claims he disappears every now and then because, get this, he works for WikiLeaks. He is married to someone. He claims that they got married only for visa purposes and they only fricked like a few times. He has citizenship now, but they aren't divorced because of some paperwork stuff involving, you guessed it, WikiLeaks. He vacillates between having her attend his family events and declaring that he doesn't believe in marriage and kids. Though, of course, he's married already. He recently suggested they be in an open relationship. She has always wanted marriage and kids, so it surprised me she got on board this relatively easily. I suspect it's because she wants to hold on to him. Guy does anything. Guy, oh it's just because I work for WikiLeaks. Don't worry about it. One November day, my mom took my sister and I put so we could help her pick out gifts for our kids. I asked why a cousin of ours who adored children never had any of her own. This led my mom into a deep trail of juicy family stories. The most unexpected was about my grandma. Apparently, a married man had pursued her, and they started a short affair that left her pregnant. She was the teenage daughter of devout Catholic, immigrant parents, and they essentially hid her in the basement the entire 9 months and forced her to give away the baby. They also threatened the dad with the mob to get him to stay quiet and pay for medical care. My grandma lived most of her life depressed over what came of that child. My mom took an ancestry DNA test about a year ago and found the woman. She had been adopted by loving parents who have since died. She's started coming to our family events, and my grandparents are more than pleased to have her in their lives. My grandpa has called her his daughter on multiple occasions. Also, Both of my sisters have cheated on their husbands with guys they met at the gym. My husband is only very stressed by this trend. One of the girls in our group of friends has never really gotten over her ex that left her 3 years ago. She will often bring him up when drunk and it has really hampered her dating life. He lives thousands of miles away, and today he posted a picture of him sitting with an attractive dude getting coffee. They are holding hands and their legs are touching. We were all sitting around the TV hanging out when she saw the picture. Shell shock is the best description for her face. This girl I once did hard drugs with on a rooftop 2 years ago kept posting a lot on social media about her life falling apart. She said her boyfriend dumped her because she finally got revenge on her rapist. I had no idea what that meant. She posted about drugs for a week, then they got back together and she seemed okay. Then she posted a positive pregnancy test and her boyfriend were posting a lot about being excited to raise their child together. Then it was silence for a couple weeks. Then it was back to her drinking and drugging and everything about the baby was deleted. She is still together with her boyfriend, but as someone who doesn't talk to her anymore and only sees what's posted online, I don't know what to think. Maybe she lost the baby, or maybe realized it was a result of her rape. No idea. Oof. To be going through all that and feel it to be a good idea to post about everything on social media. My barber got 2 different girls pregnant, neither of whom are his girlfriend. Prices have went up a little bit, but the phone calls I overhear are worth it, lol. Maybe he's set the whole story up so he could hike up the price for people who want a slice of the gossip. A friend of mine took off for a couple days to try and get into the pee industry from a guy she's met like twice. Number: if you want to do pee, you apply through the studio website. Going off with a man for a few days is how you get trafficked and sold. I live by a married man. Him and his family are very close to this lady we'll call Jess. They go on vacations with Jess, but in all photos she is near the husband, not the wife. There have been rumors that the husband is cheating on his wife with Jess. Just rumors though, right? Recently Jess moved across the country. We thought that was the end of it. Nope. My dad helps people so they can get mortgages and he just got a call from someone. The husband. They're moving with Jess across the country. That sounds like they aren't cheating, but that the husband has 2 wives. My biological mother's husband of 18 years died in October. She then proceeded to marry a guy she met on the internet just a few weeks prior on Valentine's Day. This guy is on probation for multiple DUIs, can't drive, and is bringing his 10-year-old kid to live with her and her older, college-age son. Biological mother thinks she will not have to be a full-time parent and will only be the kid's backup parent. Oh yeah, and this guy has 3 kids total from 3 different women. But she's different and it's real love. I know a guy who got his friend to marry him so he can get a green card, except his friend was already in a relationship. Not only did my friend get married, he also inherited a boyfriend-in-law. Now the 3 of them live in the same house. A friend found a photo of my younger brother in FetLife sucking a dong. So that's a thing. Haven't told anyone, but yet. Bro, I was only sucking that dong to make the other guy look gay. A guy from my small city in Scotland fled to California and tried to fake his own death. Manhunt underway. He's wanted for 24 counts of rape. UK Sahawk just posted. Local celebrity who is known for loads of charity work recently attempted to fake his death in America because he has 24 counts of rape against him back home. Sounds like the same guy. My sil is pregnant. Again, by the same guy she's been in a 2-way, abusive relationship with for the past 6 years. Despite constantly moving in and out of his house, filing restraining orders against each other, and accusing each other of cheating every day, they planned this one. Whoa, that poor child. Hey Reddit, you want some juicy gossip? I just found out I have a 1-month-old baby and I'm scared to tell my family and friends. My mom, who worked 30+ years in IT, after getting laid off from her last job decided she was done and retired. Well, last week she got a job at a clothing company as a cashier, getting a lot less money than she did in IT. This really isn't juicy gossip lol, except that friends and family have been calling me and fishing for details as to why she is re-entering the workforce. Most seem to think she's in some sort of dire financial straits, and I can only imagine the chatter they have among themselves regarding it. Well, gossipy friends and family, no need to worry. My mother is in a great financial situation. She's just gotten bored during her retirement and wants a part-time job to keep her occupied, get her out of the house, and provide for some interaction with other people. Your mom sounds like a cool person. Hope she enjoys the new job. One of my sister's friends from her sorority had a mental breakdown on her 2 roommates. Of all the crazy crap I overheard, the best part was when she got in her car and proceeded to ram into the back of one of the other friend's car, over and over, for almost 2 hours. Like, they got security camera footage of her ramming the car, backing up, and doing it again for 2 whole freaking hours. Amazing. Friend of mine and his girlfriend of 6 months just got engaged. They are both 19. His family is very religious, and he doesn't want them to find out he's gay. My uncle's girlfriend left the country with their daughter to our home country. My uncle is in a bad condition medically, and so he had to move in with my grandma to be taken care of. Another aunt here has a boyfriend back in our home country, so a long distance relationship of some sort. Turns out my uncle's girlfriend went back home to have an affair with my aunt's boyfriend. Small country. My ex and I divorced because he came out to me 18 years into our marriage as bi. He thought if he could just try it once he'd get it out of his system. His exact words. I gave him a hall pass, knowing deep down this was who he was and he wasn't going to get it out of his system. He ended up cheating on me with randos from Craigslist, etc. When we split, we told everyone we grew apart. My adult kids don't know and I promised never to tell. Our friends don't know, just me. He's now happily in a relationship with another woman but still hangs out quite a bit with a guy I know he's been involved with. He says for him it's just physical and he doesn't ever want a relationship with a man. It's been a tough secret to keep. Not the juiciest, but I have boring life, so a friend of mine doesn't have the best taste in men. She's been talking to this guy that I swear is a pathological liar. She refuses to believe it. She just makes a lot of excuses for him while in the process of continually being disappointed and let down by him. Over the last month, he was supposed to come visit her at least 10 different times. He lives 3 hours away, so it's a long distance relationship. Every time he was supposed to visit, something came up. He was sick twice, then his daughter was sick, then he got ran over, then his mom's dog is dying. All of these are excuses on why he can't come visit. What's freaked up is it will be his idea to visit. He will constantly tell my friend he's coming. She will tell him not to worry about it, but he will insist. All for him to give some bulls, last minute, excuse on why he can't show up. It seems, to me, like a lot of work to lie like that, but whatever. This recent excuse was the most fricked up. This actually happened last night. The guy insisted on coming to see my friend over the weekend. She got her hopes up just for him to call her last minute and say he got into a car wreck. He told her he was at the hospital because he got hurt and his car was totaled, or some crap. But my friend believed him at first and kept trying to ask him what hospital he was at, but he wouldn't tell her. He even sent her a picture of the car. So my friend messaged another friend of hers telling her what happened. Long story short, the other friend asked my friend to send her the picture and she did some investigating and found an exact picture and article of a wreck that happened in a different state. So the guy freaking lied about being in a wreck. When my friend confronted him about it, he started laughing his butt off and told her it was this elaborate practical joke he was playing on her. Well, she believes him. It's all a big freaking joke and I don't know who to be more pissed off at, the guy for being such a shady character or my friend who is so dang naive. I started seeing a boy from my university around Christmas who ended up giving me the good old ghost. About 2 weeks ago, I met a girl at a party through mutual friends. Through the drunken instant bonding that happens when girls pee together at parties, we discovered that he began ignoring me because he started seeing her, but had already abandoned her as well. We haven't deduced who the next victim is yet. My uncle told my parents that he needed money because he borrowed from the Chinese mafia and they were threatening to kill him and his family or something. My parents sent him some money and then 2 weeks later he posted a pic with a new car. Recently got my ancestry DNA results back and found out I have a half sister of a different ethnicity as a product of my father's cheating ways. I just found a half sister too. It was from a one night stand though and he had no idea she even existed. It's been a fun couple of weeks getting to know her. I'll cross my fingers that she is a wonderful person you'll want to get to know. My wife's gay brother is having an affair with his husband's half sister. The friend that told me also says the half sister is desperate to get pregnant. This could get interesting. I just found out that the guy who sexually assaulted me 10 years ago in college had the crap beat out of him by some of my male friends a few days after. They never said anything to anyone at the time because they could be expelled for it. I like your friends. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I separated in August 2018. She decided to end the marriage because she concluded that I would never trust her after she had an affair for more than half of our 15-year marriage. We tried to reconcile for 2 years, during which time she repeatedly told me that she had changed and that she'd never lie to me again. But I kept catching her in lie after lie. Now, she is seriously dating a guy since at least December, and she's cheating on him with another guy. Remember folks, she has changed. Gotta remember, if they cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. A guy I know tried to commit suicide after his wife left him and took the kids. We just guessed they had some kind of marriage issues. Turns out some photos of him dogging in a car park got posted through his letterbox. The twist in the story is, the person he was dogging was a dude. None of us saw that coming. Two of my best friends got engaged in June last year. He lived interstate, and so they decided that, because of his work, she would move up to him. She moved up at the very start of January, and within 2 days he broke off the engagement. Yesterday I found out it's because he'd met another woman and, supposedly, had been seeing her in December. So not only did he let her move to another state only to break up with her, but apparently there was someone already on the scene. Not sure how true the last bit is, but as my close friends, I've never felt so conflicted in my life and I hope to God that last bit isn't true. But he has a girlfriend now, so that's not looking too good. One of my co-workers is getting a divorce. He led me, and others, to believe his wife became extremely controlling after they had their son a few months ago. Turns out he's banging another co-workers. Both are in management. Both are married with kids, and I'm disgusted by the whole situation. This is a bit dated due to OPSEC, but someone moves to town to open a restaurant with the proceeds to benefit charity. Hires a bunch of folks. Gets restaurant open. Come to find out all his employees were volunteers. Volunteers who expected to get paid. They all quit immediately. Dude goes to the homeless shelter and hires a bunch of folks to run his restaurant. Well, that goes poorly. Within 6 weeks he's closed, evicted from his rental house with 3 felony warrants. One of my professors has mentioned that he's been married to his wife for 10 years, and he talks about his 4 young kids often. I found out through a friend who had a drunken encounter with him that my prof's oldest kid has a different mom. The kicker is that his oldest kid is only 6. My sister's deadbeat baby daddy just got her up after 5 years saying he wants to be a part of the kid's life. Meanwhile, not a penny of child support. My friend is sleeping with her 17-year-old stepson. She's always been into younger guys, and she married a man with 2 kids. She only married him for financial support and so she could move away from her family, and now she's been getting in with his son. I was shocked. My ex-girlfriend was supposed to be married this weekend. I was invited. The mother-in-law and fiancé came over to her apartment and berated her in front of her family for reasons unknown. Long story short, wedding is cancelled and over 50+ people were not able to get refunded. Currently by the beach sipping bottomless mimosas. Sounds like she dodged a bullet there. We got a new boss like a year ago at work and we've been hating it. People are getting written up for petty crap and suspended and losing their bonuses. I'm a good employee, but this stuff finally caught up to me too and I got written up for getting injured at work. Long story. I don't play, so where it said employee comments on the write-up I said see attached and typed out a 3-page defense talking about how I thought it was unfair and how I thought people had been getting treated unfairly for a year now. The next day I got called into a meeting by my boss, and his boss, and his boss and an hour rep so they could grill me about it. By the end of the meeting we had all figured out that it was actually the HR rep who had been screwing with people for a year now, and the anger shifted completely away from me and onto her. I went around and told everybody about it. We're going to make this be pay. I always suspected she was, but I found out yesterday that a friend was sleeping with her colleague. No, sorry, colleagues. She was having it off with several each week. My mother thinks my brother can't afford the home he and his partner just bought and divulged this to me after she visited him. This is completely untrue as he is fairly successful and has been for almost 20 years. She said the house was frigid and the heat was only kept at 62 degrees, but he has a server in the house so that's not connected at all. His partner is in school for his doctorate, so my brother is paying for almost everything. During this time his first dog was diagnosed with cancer and he was really disconnected and sad during her visit. For some reason though, all of this and some other happenings made her think he can't possibly pay for this house and he's hiding it from her. I had to listen to all of this and suppress the urge to tell her she's crazy. I figured I would let it go because I have no idea what's truly going on. My brother's dog passed away not too long after this, so we were talking over the phone and her visit came up. He goes on to say everything that she told me but in his perspective. Not too different. But then he says that my mom took his partner aside to ask him if they were okay and if my brother was treating him right. This wasn't the first time she's done this either. She apparently warned my brother's partner when they started dating that he isn't exactly easygoing and how high maintenance he was. I was pretty shocked and appalled. We've known for years that she is probably narcissistic, possibly borderline, but this really sealed the deal for me. I couldn't finish a book describing the crappy things she's done, but I'm pretty disgusted with her. To top it all off, she said that she thinks he has the narcissistic tendencies. TLDR. My mother is such a narcissist, she thinks my brother can't afford his new house and has tried to interfere in his relationship behind his back but has the gall to call him the conceited one. My ex and mother of my son went off and eloped last night to an ex-con. Drug addict with personality disorder. I'm guessing she wanted to keep it a secret but forgot her FB profile is public and everyone I know hates her, so I woke up to about a dozen text messages letting me know. Can't wait to see how her freaking crap show impacts my sons and my life this time. A friend of mine, whose BF made her move far away and keeps her low contact with her friends and family, just found out she's pregnant. At 31 weeks along, a co-worker asked if she was expecting and that prompted her to take a test. We all hate the BF baby daddy, who didn't want the baby and was trying to convince her to give it up, so we are hopeful that she will leave him for good when she comes home to have the baby. My dad has a half-sister that I never knew existed, and apparently she doesn't know either, but my dad has known since before I was born. Also, it was from my granddad cheating on my nana with my nana's sister. This is some soap opera crap, man. Found P of my best friend. She doesn't know I know. Happy cake day. Ninja edit. Not giving link. I found P of my cousin and I would die before mentioning it to her. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.